Okay, so hello guys, how are you all? Hope you are good. So we are back with our new editorial, and this editorial is from Educational Corpus round 196, rated for Div 2, and we are discussing problem A and B of this contest in this editorial, and the rest of the problems will be discussed in the further videos. So let's move on to the problem. So let's discuss problem A first. Problem A name is partition making, portion making. Sorry. Okay. So in this problem, what we are given is we are given an empty cauldron. Cauldron is kind of a pot kind of thing. Let me show you the image. This is called cauldron. Okay. So what we are given here is we are given two ingredients basically. One is water and one is magic essence. Okay. So water and magic essence, they both are kind of a liquid thing. Okay. So our target is to mix both of them, but there should be some ratio. The ratio is that magic accents should be like should be k% in that cauldron, and rest of the k 100 minus k% should be water. Okay, so this is our target, and yeah, so we are given k. Okay, we are given k, that how many percent should be there, should be water, should be there, how many percent that magic accents should be there, and the rest should be water. So our target is to tell the minimum number of uh, operations that we can do, and in each operation, uh, wait a second, yeah, in each operation we can either pour 1 liter of magic accents or 1 liter of water. So we need to print the uh, minimum number of operations that we can do, such that the ratio between magic accents and water is k raised to power k upon what we say it, 100 minus k. Okay, so yeah, like 3 upon 3 comma 3% should be the magic accents, and rest of the 97% should be water. So how much operations we need to do here? So it is confirmed that we need to do 3 minus 3 upon 100 operations, because operations should be of what we can say, operations should be of magic accents, and dash 97% should be of uh, water, right? So, but this is not in every case. Okay, let me show you the logic. Let me tell you the logic for this program. Okay, so we are discussing three examples. Okay, in first example, let's say our k is equals to 3, k is equals to 3, and our total percentage equals to 4. Percentage is equals to 100. So the rest of the 97 is equals to what? Okay, so our answer is, our logic is the ratio, the minimum. Basically, we need to make this fraction in the simplest way, and the denominator, which is this basically, will be our answer. So basically 3 upon, in the case of 3 upon 100, we cannot divide 3 further to the 100. Okay, so the GCD of both of them is going to be 1, right? So when the GCD is 1, that means we cannot further simplify that fraction, right? When the GCD of denominator and numerator is 1, then we cannot further divide that, simplify that, what we say, fraction. So we need to divide that fraction, simplify that fraction until the GCD of denominator and numerator is 1. Okay, in this case, the denominator is 1, and numerator, sorry, in this case the denominator is 1 when numerator is 3 and denominator is 100. So denominator will be our answer. In this case, the GCD of both of them is going to be 2, right? That means we can divide both of them by 2. Okay, so if we divide 6 by 2, then it is going to be 3. If we divide 100 by 2, then it is going to be 50. Okay, and now the GCD of both of them 3 and 5 is going to be 1. So when the GCD is 1, we are not going to divide them. So the answer will be the denominator. So answer in this case is going to be 50. Okay. In this case, this is the test case in problem. When the GCD of both of them is going to be 5. That means we can divide both of them by 5. Right. So if we divide both of them by 5, then this is going to be 5 and 20. Right. GCD of both of them is going to be 5. Okay. Then we divide both of them by 5, then it is going to be 5 and 4. GCD of both of them is going to be 1. So our GCD is 1. Then we don't need to further divide them. Then answer is going to be 4. So 4 in this case. Okay. So this much is the logic. Let me show you the code. Hope you get it. If you didn't get it, you can remind the video. Okay. So this is the simple logic for this problem, right? We are inputting test cases, and then f is 100, f is the denominator, and n is the number. This is basically this is f, and this is n. Okay. Oh, sorry. Basically this is n and this is f. 100 is f. Okay. So while true, that means while I am not doing any precondition, k is going to be GCD of n and f, GCD of this and this. Okay. And if GCD if k right, so if GCD is equals to k, so we need to divide them by k, right? That means GCD of both of them was 2, then we are dividing them by 2. So in this case fy is equals to 100, so we divided 100 by 50. That means 100 divided by 2 was equals to 50. 2. Then 6 divided by 2 was equals to 3. Then this here, and then if GCD of both of them is equals to 1, then we are going to break and return f was nothing but this 100. We returned f after it was 50 and GCD was 1. So this was problem A. Let's move to problem B. Okay, let me pause this video for a second. Okay guys, so let's move on to the problem B. Okay, so the name of the problem B is permutation sort. In this problem, what we are given here is we are given an array consisting of n integers. Basically A is the permutations of n integers from 1 to n. Okay, right, and then we can perform an operation on that array as many as time as I want. Okay, I can choose a subarray consisting of continuous segment. Continuous segment means suppose this is our array, then the continuous segment is, suppose I choose this element 1 and this element 5. So continuous segment is from 1 to 5. Okay, 4 is also including the elements between 1 and 5 are also included in the subarray. Okay, then we need to rearrange the element in a way we want. Okay, we can sort this segment and we can do right. Okay, so our target is to sort that array, and we need to print the minimum number of operations that we can do to sort that array. Okay, so let me show you the logic for this problem. There is going to be about 4 cases in this problem. Suppose our array is of 3 elements. Okay, so there is going to be around 4 cases in this problem. The first case is going to be when the array is sorted, like 1, 2 and 3. In this case the array is sorted, so the answer will be 0, right? The second case is going to be basically second case is going to be when the array is not sorted, right? Okay, under this case there is going to be 3 cases. Okay, this is first case when array is sorted, and then there is going to be 3 cases under the second one when array is not sorted. The first is going to be if first element is on its place and the rest of the elements are not on their places. Like suppose, let me take this one, 1, 3 and 2. These 3 are the elements. First element is on its place, and the second 2 element and the other elements are not on their places. So we can just sort both of them. We can just select this and this as a subarray, and we can just swap both of them. So our resultant subarray is going to be 1, 2 and 3. So they are sorted now. So the operation was 1. Okay, so in this case the answer is going to be 1. This was the first case of these 3 cases. Okay, so let's move on to the second case. Second case is going to be when first element is on its place, but second element and the last first element is not on its place, but the last element is on its place, like 2, 1 and 3. So in this case I can arrange both of them, right? So in this case also 1, 2 and 3 will be our answer and the cost will be 1. Okay, this is 2 cases when the answer is going to be 1. Okay, so there is going to be 4 conditions in this, right? And after that our next condition come when none of them is on its place, nor the first element nor the last element is on its place, like 2, 3 and 1. In this case the answer is going to be 2. Let me tell you how. We can select these both, right? We can select both of them and we can sort it. After sorting it, it will be like 2, 3 and 1. Oh sorry, I did a wrong thing. Yeah, we can select both of them and sort it. After sorting, it will be like 2, 1 and 3. And then we can select these both and sort them. After sorting, it will be like 1, 2 and 3. So they are sorted now. The operations is going to be 1 plus 1, which is going to be 2. So 2 is going to be our answer when nor x is on its place, nor y is nor the first element is on its place, nor the last element is on its place. Okay, so this is the case of 2, and there is going to be 4 answers in this problem. The answers is going to be 0, 1, 2 and 3. 0 I have discussed this one. 1 I have discussed both of them, this and this. 2 I have discussed just now, and the case left is 3. This is a edge case when the last element, which is 3, and the first element, which is 1, are basically inverse. Basically the last element is on the place of the first element and the first element is on the place of the last element. So in this problem, in this case we need to do 3 steps, right? We need to first sort both of them, then it is going to be 3, 1 and then 2. We need to sort this and this, then it is going to be 1, 3 and 2. And then we are going to sort this and this, then it is going to be 1, 2 and 3. So there is going to be 3 steps, right? 1, 1 and 1. So the answer is going to be 3 in this case. So this is the third case. Okay, so there is basically 4 cases in this, 5 cases in this problem. 1 when the answer is 0, 2 and 3 when the answer is 1, okay, 4 when the answer is 2, and 5 when the answer is 3. Okay. 2 cases of 1 and 1 cases of each 1, 2 and 3. Oh, sorry, 0, 2 and 3. Okay, and I forgot one thing to tell, that we cannot select the whole array at once. If we could have selected the whole array, then the answer of each array is going to be 1, would have been 1. Okay, so yeah, let's see the code of this problem. So yeah, I guess this, yeah. So this is the code of this problem. Let me zoom it. Yeah, so this is the test case and we are inputting n, the number of elements in our array. We are taking count as a variable. I will tell you what this does. We are inputting a vector, or we can say this as array. Okay, and if v comma is equals to v comma I plus 1, this basically checks if the ith element is equals to the I plus 1 element, because this is 0 based indexing array. So if that is the case, that means we are going to implement the count, and if count is equals to n, this count is doing or telling us if the array is sorted. Okay, if the array is sorted, then our answer is going to be 0. This basically represents this case. Okay, this basically tells us this case. When the array is sorted, the first case. Okay, if that's not the case, then we are going to move to the second case. Sorry. When the first element is equals to the last element, and the last element is equals to the first element. That means this is the last case. This case. Okay, in this case, the answer is going to be 3. And then if this is not the case, then the next condition, which is the first element is equals to the first element, or the last element is equals to the last element. Basically, this condition represent these both cases. Both of these is in this case. Okay, and else means only this case is left. Then we are going to print 2. Okay, so this much is the problem and the code of these problems. Hope you guys enjoyed this editorial, and if you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel and the video. Okay,